Okay, so let's talk mindful nerd moment. So, with One Bad Day, the Riddler, I what I decided to do was think about, okay, so what is the experience of being the Riddler like? And there are a lot of different versions of him. So, just generally, I was thinking about how the Riddler is super smart and he's always thinking about these different riddles and thinking about all the different um we talked about how he's like all these steps ahead of everybody and he's just thinking of things at all the different angles and everything. And I was just thinking about how fast and chaotic his internal like thoughts
Yeah.
might be at times, which I can relate to. I don't know if I would be the Riddler if I was a villain, but I every now and then I'm like, I feel like my brain runs off in a way that I could see kind of being similar because he's always thinking in all these different kind of angles.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play off of that and like, okay, how if we were the Riddler, how would we hone our brain a little bit better?
Okay.
There's this mindfulness exercise that I really like that is meant to help you get into the practice of noticing your thoughts, your feelings, the physical sensations that you have, noticing them but not grabbing hold of them. And it's called
Okay.
Leaves on a Stream.
Okay.
It's also called Clouds in a Sky. You essentially like pretend that you put each thought you have, each feeling you have, each physical sensation on either a leaf on a stream and you watch it float by,
Okay.
or you put it on a cloud in the sky and you watch that cloud go by. And it just gives you a visual to work off of.
Okay.
So I was thinking we could do thoughts on a question mark.
Thoughts on a question mark. Let's do it.
Yeah, because you always think question marks with the Riddler.
Yeah.
So I was thinking what we could do is we could just kind of imagine just fun, different kinds of question marks floating by and doing the same thing as the Riddler.
Okay.
But it's the Riddler, so he's got to have a fun spin to it. Or why do it at all?
Yeah.
So I want you to sit comfortably, straight, but making sure you're still feeling comfortable and loose. Close your eyes if you're comfortable, or you can just not focus on anything in particular in the room. And I want you to imagine what I was just describing. So you're the Riddler. You can be this version of the Riddler that we talked about this week, or you could be a different Riddler if there's another one you prefer. So pick your favorite Riddler, decide which one you want to be, and I want you to just imagine that you're coming up with your next scheme, next thing you're going to be doing with Batman. Your mind is just kind of flooded with all the different ideas, and it's just too much. There's so much buzzing around in your head, you can't really figure out what you want to do. So you decide, you know what? I need to step back a little.
Okay.
So remember, as the Riddler, you're sitting back and you're saying, okay, I'm going to do thoughts on a question. And you imagine different different styles and colors of question marks floating by. And with each one that you imagine, place one of your thoughts on it. So one of your thoughts might be, man, what if I got Batman to jump off of a high building? Man, what about this riddle? Did I do this riddle before? Place that thought on a question. Oh man, but what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do 3 weeks from now if that's the riddle that I do tomorrow? Da, 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 da. Oh, put that thought on a question mark. Let it float by. You might find different feelings coming up. Frustration with maybe a henchman that doesn't seem to be smart enough for you. You take that frustration, you put it on a question mark, and you watch it float by. You feel yourself kind of feeling amused by, the most recent Robin and how goofy they looked, and that's kind of distracting you. And it's okay. You put that amusement on a question mark, and you watch it float by. You notice that you're getting kind of tense in your shoulders because you're getting in your thinking stance and you're kind of crouched over, and you put the realization of that tension in your body on a question mark, and you watch it float by. And this is just what you're doing. You're taking a moment to step back and say, "Hey, I got to slow my brain down so I can actually think through this stuff." So, putting a thought, putting a feeling, putting that physical sensation, putting those things on these question marks, watching them float by. And then when we're ready, we get to brainstorming that next riddle that we're going to throw at Batman. So we're going to shift back to being ourselves. Whenever you're ready, kind of move around, open your eyes, get back into the podcast, and we'll wrap up this mindful nerd moment. So which Riddler did you choose?
I chose Batman animated series Riddler.
Nice.
Simple, yeah. Simple, quirky, some
Mm-hmm.
fun Riddler.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Jim Carrey level fun, but fun enough.
Fun enough.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
yeah.
What? How did you feel with this? What did you think of this mindful nerd moment?
My mind runs at a million miles a minute, especially when I'm worried. Like I feel like my mind's
Mm-hmm.
constantly racing. I'm constantly trying to slow it down. So the idea of every question that came up, just putting it
Mm-hmm.
somewhere and not worrying about it really did seem helpful. It really did seem
Nice.
helpful. Like as it came up, it's like, no, 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 no. And just it was a very big question mark. Like it was it'll be a very big question mark. But I did like the way it was like, nope, that's not what we're doing right now. We're not thinking. We're not.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what I would say is instead of thinking no,
Mhm.
thinking yes and.
Okay.
So you're because no would be I'm ignoring you completely. That's not happening.
Right.
But instead of saying this thing isn't happening, we're saying, okay, I am experiencing this thing. We're acknowledging it by placing it on the question mark. And we're allowing the question mark to float by.
Right.
So we're not grabbing hold of the question mark and forcing it here. We're saying, "Hey, we're letting these things that I'm thinking, we're acknowledging that they're there so that they can move forward instead of getting stuck in them."
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Like when it comes to being worried, that can be a time that there's a lot of these different things that can be buzzing around.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really like this sort of thing because of the visual.
Yeah.
Because if you do have a ton of things whirring around in your head, it can feel just super abstract, and
Yes,
it can be,
definitely.
sometimes you could even maybe like draw the question mark in front of you
Yeah.
if you needed an even like more of a concrete visual.
Yeah. I really liked it.